What if LEGO produced a collectible minifigure series based on characters in the Criterion Collection? With over 1,000 films to choose from, classic and contemporary, which characters would make the lineup for a Series 1? And yes, this would be impossible. Even disregarding the nightmare of licensing all these silly little characters, there's also LEGO's content guidelines. So just pretend, okay? I am, of course, award-winning filmmaker, Just Your Average Joe, and I tried to come up with a diverse group of characters from different time periods and countries. You know, just like Criterion does. Starting off the series, we have Charlie Chaplin's The Tramp from so many classic movies. He's one of the most recognizable characters in movie history, and he even meets LEGO's content guidelines because he's pretty family friendly. He'd definitely be included. He'd have a new fedora piece, similar to the piece that already exists, just with hair underneath. Kind of like how we got the updated piece for Indiana Jones with the hair underneath. This would be very useful for customs, and also I gave him a very happy face because I'm afraid of what customs people would make otherwise. His accessory would be, I don't know, that cane piece. Just throw in like that wand they used to use for Harry Potter. People would love to see that. And our second character in the series is from Spine 2 of the Criterion Collection. That is, of course, Kikuchio from Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. Sorry if I mispronounced that, I've only seen it once. It's a pretty long movie. One of the most popular movies in the collection too, so he'd definitely be included. His accessory is just that sword piece that they've been using for years, molded in 2 different colors, and he has a new mold for that snazzy looking headgear. Personally, I think this minifigure looks really cute. And I promise not all the characters are going to be in black and white, but third we have Henry from Eraserhead. We had to have at least one minifigure from a David Lynch movie considering how frequently he shows up in the collection, and Henry just made the most sense. It's David Lynch's first feature, he'd have a new hair mold that would be very useful and funny, and he would come with a new piece for the cutest character in history, Henry's baby. And speaking of directors with a lot of films in the collection, we have our Wes Anderson representation with Chaz Tenenbaum from the Royal Tenenbaums. I chose him after seeing he was included in that fake Criterion fighting game roster, and I thought his tracksuit design would lead to a really interesting minifigure. It was between him and Mr. Fox, even though Rushmore is always my favorite Wes Anderson. This would be the first LEGO Ben Stiller, and he'd have a new hairpiece similar to the Hobbit piece, just a little bit different. And his accessory would be one of his Dalmatian mice. I'm also planning to do a full Wes Anderson series after this, so subscribe if you're interested in that. Then we have our Kubrick representation with Barry Lyndon, which is a movie that became an immediate favorite when I watched it earlier this year. He wouldn't have any accessories because he's a popular enough character to just exist on his own. Then we have Mookie from Do the Right Thing, and yes, even for a silly YouTube video like this, it feels like a stretch that LEGO would ever make a Do the Right Thing character. But it's one of the earliest Criterion movies, it's endured as a very beloved and important film, and I wanted to include him. His accessory would be one of Sal's pizza boxes. Next we have another character played by the director from one of the most iconic films of all time, Charles Foster Kane from Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. He doesn't use any new molds, he just continues the black and white theme that was started with Steamboat Willie back when LEGO made those minifigures, and his accessory would be the iconic snow globe. Next is Drog from Fantastic Planet. This is primarily an animation channel, so we had to have an animated character in here, but it's also just a very unique design. Her headpiece is similar to the one the Skrulls use in the Marvel sets, and her accessory is a microfigure of Tear. Also wanted to shout out my friend Lee who loves this movie. Then we have a more modern character with Howard Ratner from Josh and Benny Safdie's film Uncut Gems. This would be the first Adam Sandler minifigure, and his accessory would be that snazzy looking Furby. I also might do an A24 series if people are interested in that. Another modern character we'd have is Honora from Honora, the Sean Baker film starring Oscar winner Mikey Madison, my queen. Who wouldn't want a Lego Honora? Her accessory is the Lord of the Rings ring piece, that's always good to get, and her outfit is based on the iconic GIF from r/Oscar race. Anyone watching from r/Oscar race, comment below, I love you guys, you're my family. And no, we don't just have the modern characters, we also had to have Monsieur Hulot from all the great Tati films. I was pretty worried, to be honest, about how he would translate because I think of him having this very unique posture that obviously a minifigure couldn't do, but I really like how he came out. I think he's super cute and probably one of my favorites in the series. I mean, don't you want to just squeeze his Lego cheeks? His accessory is an umbrella. He wouldn't include his pipe because LEGO wouldn't want to encourage something inappropriate like smoking. Next up, we have Divine from John Waters' film Pink Flamingos. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have actually not seen Pink Flamingos. The reason is because I am scared. I really want to see the movie. I actually think John Waters is hilarious in interviews and that one part in Hairspray, his little cameo, but I am scared of him as well. but I thought this was one of the coolest designs ever, so I had to include it in the series. Moving on to a more family-friendly and happy director, we've got Death from Ingmar Bergman's Seventh Seal. I actually just watched all the films in the Ingmar Bergman box set, and that was an incredible experience. One of the highlights of the year for sure, and you can expect a full Ingmar Bergman minifigure series from me as well. I really like how Death's design translated to the traditional minifigure head, and he has a new piece for the saw he uses in a very funny scene I will not spoil. Victoria Page is also included from Powell and Pressburger's The Red Shoes, which is Martin Scorsese's favorite movie ever. When I first saw this movie, I was absolutely gagged, and I was really excited to translate her into minifigure form. And I really like how it turned out. I think the red shoes look really great. I'm not sure how I feel about the printed sweat on the forehead, but that's for you guys to argue about in the comments. One of my favorite characters in fiction is Faye from Chungking Express. Maybe they'd be more likely to include a character from In the Mood for Love, but it's my series and I like Chungking Express more. Sorry, not sorry. I had so many ideas for accessories, some fish, a toy plane, but I ended up settling on the note she gives to Cop 663. And by note, I mean that boarding pass that got rained on. Just be thankful my theater kid ass didn't bust into California dreaming. Next up, we have Godzilla from honestly too many films to count. It's based on the original, so I had to make a newly molded headpiece, and guys, I really do not think I pulled it off, like, at all. I was planning to do Flora from Come and See next. I wanted to watch something I hadn't seen before making this. I hadn't seen Come and See, but I know that picture of him was very striking, and I thought it would be an interesting design. After watching it, I was not as interested in drawing that as a minifigure. But then I realized there was no Fellini characters or any Italian characters. So I drew the cute clown girl from La Strada, a beautiful film that I saw for the first time in a hospital, and I'm not gonna elaborate. Last but not least, this might be a selfish pick because I don't know if she'd be in a series 1, but I had to include at least one film from my favorite director, and she is my favorite actor. This is Donkey Skin, played by Catherine Deneuve from the movie Donkey Skin. She has a new headpiece based on that lion piece that Luna wears in Harry Potter, but this time it is for a donkey. She has the cookbook from the Cake Bake song, and a chicken. So there you have it. Here's all the characters I think would be in a series 1 of Criterion. I love how this group shot turned out of all 18 of them together. Feel free to screenshot this and send it to your friend group and say us, or post it with the caption "me and my girls," something like that. Aside from Flora, there were 2 other characters I really wanted to include but had to cut for various reasons. Kid from 400 Blows, that one hurt. I really wanted to include him. I love that movie and I always use this picture as a reaction, but I had so many French characters already, I didn't want it to be, overly French. That's why there's no Godard or Varda characters as well. And then Juror 8 from 12 Angry Men, Henry Fonda's character. I just had 6 black and white characters already. It felt like overkill at that point, but that's the first play I was ever in, and also it's just one of the most quintessential movies, I feel like. So definitely those 2 will be in a series 2. I have a good amount of ideas for characters I think would be in a series 2, but I would love to hear your suggestions if you have any characters you feel really deserve to be on this list or in a second series. And no, me making these videos is not going to be a replacement of my filmmaking career. My Immortal 3 is very much still on the way. I am working hard on it, and I'm very excited to share it with you guys. Since I don't typically address my audience in my videos, I really want to say thank you for getting me to 500 subscribers. That was my goal for this year, was to get over 500, and I got over it in May, so I'm super thankful to all of you. If you found me through My Immortal, through Uncle Miki, from Lego Daddy Hamlet, a Shide lesbian stoner opera, or just found this video, thank you so much. I love you. You guys rock. MCR rocks.